Hey guys, Trigger John coming at you with another Diablo Immortal video. This one's going to be a fast one. I want to talk about some leaks that we just found out, and I want to thank our good friend Dataminder who actually brought them to my attention. And we actually got to talk to them for just a minute earlier today, and he kind of gave me a run through of what his thoughts were. He also did a YouTube video on it as well. I'll link to it down below. And let's go ahead and talk about it, because this is actually, I think, in a way, good positive changes to Diablo Immortal that I'm actually excited for. Okay, so first things first, let's go ahead and let's just pull up the data mine itself. I'm actually stopping in the middle of my grind. I'm going to go ahead and grind up to Server Paragon today. I've got some free time, so I figured I would do that. But as soon as I got this information, I was like, you know what? I want to share this with you guys, and I want to cover it because I think this is actually the correct step in the right direction for Diablo Immortal, unlike the update that we're about to get here in the next 6 days. So let's talk about it. All right, as you can see here, we do have the data miner who predicted the major update just released another video speculating about several topics, yada, yada. This is his video. I have already watched it a couple of times, actually. At some point in this video, I'm sure we will go ahead and we will jump over to it to reference something. But definitely go give him a subscribe, go follow him. He's doing hard work. His videos aren't necessarily the greatest because he doesn't talk at them. He uses a robot to talk. But I feel like the information that he's sharing with us is very valuable. Now, moving on. Targeted 5-star gem crafting mechanic. Now, basically, it looks like they're going to introduce another currency in the game. I know for some people that's going to be frustrating because I think a lot of people already feel like we have enough currencies. There's no real reason to add any more. But you know, it is what it is because it's going to be a 5-star gem crafting currency. It looks like they are going to actually call this, what did it say? It was something, it's hard for me to pronounce what it was. He said it actually in his video. It may not be in here. There's some sort of other currency that he mentioned though. That would Telluric Pearls, there it is. Telluric Pearls, which is what's going to actually allow you to craft the 5-star gems. We don't know anything more about this. We don't know how many it's going to cost. We don't know how you acquire these. There's a lot of unknowns. And actually, after I talked with him one-on-one personally after the video, he has access to certain parts of the code. So it takes a lot to decipher that because there's going to be a lot of jumping back and forth, a lot of tracing. For those of you who program or do coding yourselves, I'm sure you understand how to do all that. But for those of you who don't know what that means or what that means you're aware of, is imagine having a long document that is code for a game, and know that every single line refers to something that's not right above it, but somewhere like up here, over there, like all over the place. So to kind of come up with a lot of this information, these data miners actually had to take like a specific line, and then they got to backtrace it to get this data for us. So definitely stay tuned. I'm sure at some point he will probably dig into this a little bit more for us and we'll have a better idea. All right, so one of the nice things to know about the fact that that he's got this and found this information for us is the fact that this is going to be a big improvement, and I feel like to the free-to-play players out there, because they kind of struggle, right? Gym resonance is it's a thing that unfortunately everyone is kind of lacking and needing. So I definitely understand this, where these pearls could be super impactful on a lot of people's counts, and I'm very glad to hear about it. I'm just a little nervous as to what's going to require to get these pearls. Hopefully it's not too awful much, and hopefully that allows some free-to-play players to at least get like a couple of the 5-star gems, so that they can at least have a full baseline and not have to use only 1-star, 2-star gems for this, right? All right, moving on to the next thing that I think is going to be pretty cool is odd transmog mechanic. Now, in his video, he breaks down his thought process on how the transmog is going to work. I don't know if that's what it is because I didn't see the data, right? He didn't show the data. It did seem like this was already announced back in March. The code was there, but it was not applied or utilized. It does look like there's been a slight change and or tweak to the code. So this could mean that moving forward, we could have this pretty soon, which could be really, really, really cool. Basically, when he looked at the data mine, it looks like there's going to be a rainbow effect for weapons and weapons only, and there are 7 Cosmo orbs to be obtained. I don't know exactly what that means. He did pull up, I believe, some images here. Let's see, I thought I stopped it on Darth's section where he did the comparison, If not, there we go. That's the one I wanted. Okay, perfect. As you can see here, you can see the orbs that he kind of laid out here, which is good. A good thought, I guess. Maybe it is something to do with these. Maybe these work as like a tanner or like a color change. I'm not really sure. I feel like this may be part of it, the spot where they missed the mark. But either way, the fact that the data mine actually is going to have some sort of transmog to it is really, really good. That just means that, in my personal opinion, that now that it's being tweaked, eventually we will get it, which and I think is good because that's what the community is asking for. I know a lot of you have said, John, you're really negative and you've unsubscribed, yada, yada. And I understand that. I really do. No one wants to hear a bunch of negativity. I don't really come from a negative standpoint. I come from a realist standpoint of understanding the bigger picture of how everything works together. And I feel like even though transmogs, it looks like that's going to be a little goofy of a system. The fact that we're actually going to be able to work together and suggest something for Diablo Immortal, and the fact that they're going to take it and apply it to the game, that's a W. All day long, that's a win. I don't really care that they're not going to necessarily impede it the way they should. It's the fact that they're listening. Unlike the new update where we're going to have warband stuff and all this content synergized around warbands, when we've flat out said we don't want anything to do with that, that's a slap in the face. Then, in the realist standpoint, it's going to cause some problems. However, this camera needs to cooperate. I don't know what's going on. I'm going to end up having to call GoPro to see what's going on with this thing. This is annoying. But the thought that Blizzard is taking our thoughts into consideration and applying them, even if it's not in the best circumstance, the fact that they're actually listening and trying to tailor the game a little bit more to what the community is asking for, because this is something that's very minimal. Transmogging should not be something that was difficult or that should be coming this far late in the game. However, we've asked about it, and they're showing promise of actually fixing it, addressing it, and giving it to us. That is an amazing sign, and that's what Blizzard needs to be doing to make their game better. There's also much more things to do, like server merges and overall increase the rewards of being an immortal, so that way you actually want to be an immortal. Because the only positive right now for Immortal is the Immortal chat. Like, there's a lot of things to do to improve the game. However, the fact that they're taking these small steps and going ahead and listening to us and then applying them, that's huge. Okay, moving on. Universal Gem Socket asset. So I suppose this is just speculation, but there's a game asset in the files that shows a rainbow colored socket for secondary gear. Universal Gem Socket, if you will, whether you will use this once, a questionable, or possible in theory, this would simply allow us to socket any blue, yellow, or red gems into the slots. I'm assuming what that may or may not refer to is when you open up your gear, right? And on the left-hand side, you have your set items, and you're limited to like, say, 2 red sockets, 3 red sockets, or like two red, 1 yellow, or red and blue, whatever the case is for that piece of gear. I think what he's trying to say here is that it looks like there may be something that'll be like in Path of Exile, it's called a white socket, which allows you to equip any type of gem in there for a link. So, for example, in Path of Exile, each gem has a socket color that then goes in here, just like what we have here. However, white sockets will take any of them. It doesn't matter. There's no stipulation on what can go in there or not. I think that's what he's kind of referring to. Only in the source code, maybe it looks like it's called like a rainbow. I'm not sure. This could be just I don't know. This could be just a facade. Maybe this isn't actually anything factual, but the fact that there may be something along those lines, that's kind of cool, because usually that means that you can use, like, you can get different drops that'll have these modifications, or you can do some crafting to make the modifications, which that would be really cool, right? All right, moving on. Halloween cosmetic plus event. Now, do we know if there's going to be one? We don't know if there's going to be one. So let's see what he says about this. I didn't actually pay too much attention to this because honestly, I don't care very much about it. It's a holiday type deal. Usually those are like a money grab, so I try not to pay that much attention to them. No specifics are known except for the following will be available. A Halloween themed event with armor, weapon, class dependent portrait cosmetics. Once again, why I hate this. I will stop doing this. Avatar frame, emoji unlockable. Well, whatever. Okay, so it's a standard Blizzard package here. Standard Blizzard package has been found for Halloween, and that will be what, end of next month already. So we'll have the major update that's going to come in about 5 days of releasing this video, and then afterwards, 5-6 days actually, and then afterwards we're going to have probably, it looks like a 2-week update, and maybe some of this will come out with that 2-week update. It would be my thought on it, especially as we talk more about it and we blow it up and everyone makes a YouTube channel video on it. That's usually a key to them to like, well, everyone already knows, and they push it out instead of pivoting and then working on something else. So maybe we can force the hand on this one and we'll have that good content. All right, that's gonna do it for me on this video. I'm not even gonna turn the camera back on. I'm immediately gonna call GoPro customer support and see what's going on with my camera and why it keeps doing this. But I want you guys to have this knowledge and have my thought on it anyway, see if that helps you guys. And if it does, leave comments down below if this is something that excites you. In my case, this actually excited me because it shows me that they're listening to the community outcry and that they're fixing things according to the community outcry. And that, in my personal opinion, is huge. I would rather see smaller changes that tailor more to what the community is trying to tell them to improve their game versus what they think is like, oh, well, we've already made this in the source code, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to push it live, which is how I feel this new update is. So I really like this. This to me is a step in the right direction where Blizzard isn't missing the mark, but they're actually taking the feedback from the community and applying it to it, which makes the game feel a little bit more wholesome, in my opinion. All right. That's going to do it for this video. Leave me a comment down below if you enjoyed it, and I can't wait to see you guys in the next video. Have a good rest of your day. Peace.